Hello everyone, Raijin Rising here, and welcome to a RWBY video essay on characters as plot devices. Though I do have a few points to make about Chapter 5 that I'll save for the end, so I guess this could double as an episode review. How are these three the same character? Ilya Amatola, Raven Bronwyn, and Robin Hill. Well, I had put up a poll on Twitter asking what kind of character you think Robin will be by the end of this volume. This was your response, and this video is mine. I chose option 3, and I still do. Ilya, Raven, and Robin are to me the same plot device in different conflicts. Ilya began her arc as an antagonist who would oppose the Belladonnas and fight for Adam's White Fang under Corsic and Fennec. That was after she responded to her parents' deaths a certain way then, but after, she reconsidered and helped Blake in her ultimate goal for the volume. Raven began her arc as an antagonist who would oppose everything Oz stood for and want her own outcome at the Battle of Haven then, but after, she reconsidered and helped Yang and by extension Oz in their ultimate goal for the volume. Thus, Robin begins her arc as an antagonist who may well be hell-bent on opposing Ironwood and seeing what is up with Amity now, but down the road, much like Ilya and Raven, I believe will be the player to make a major decision and change the outcome of the conflict that she is now a part of in this volume. All of these instances involve Ilya, Raven, and Robin being their own third-party force in the conflict who would ultimately make a decision that changes the volume's outcome. You might think I'd lump Cordovan into this, but since she was the main antagonist of Volume 6 and not a third party, she's not what made it a perfect storm. If anything, Adam was more in line to be that third-party role, but his motives didn't line up with the way that Ilya's, Raven's, and Robin's do. I've said in multiple videos now, the show's conflicts aim to be a perfect storm, full of players and pieces. That's war for you. A shadow war, but one nonetheless. And to be clear, I'm not saying it's bad that multiple characters share the same kind of role in different conflicts in the same show, or even that it makes things too predictable. Nothing about this volume right now, as I see it, is too predictable. Even in saying everything that I have about how I believe this volume will go, how it may end, there are so many other things that could happen given all the setup that we already have. So the major outcome of this volume is just, nobody can even say what the third act will be, what the major fight is going to be, even at this moment. Is it going to be a fight at the school over the relic? I honestly can't say I believe that. And it's good that that's where we're sitting at right now. We still don't even know all the major players in the Atlas fight as an arc, not even like as the volume. We know Ironwood and his inner circle are one faction. I don't personally believe the Aesops are their own faction anymore. I mean, it could hypothetically happen. The heroes are another faction. Then Team Witch is also at work through Jacques. So they're kind of one unit even though Jacques doesn't know he's being used. Now we have Robin and her faction, but Cinder and Neo? It seems enough time has passed for them to make it to Atlas now. As of Chapter 5, the opening scenes show that a lot of time has passed. I'd say at least a week in the span of a few minutes. That's enough time at this point for Cinder and Neo to show up. So even though we don't have all the ducks in a row yet, we have enough different antagonistic forces that I doubt all of them will be able to see their goal through. We'll be able to see that their motivation is the best way to go, given any of the things that could happen once the volume gets toward the end and more and more and more and more comes to light. The show is at its best when it is a perfect storm. Volumes 4 and 5 struggled because they had trouble balancing all the plot lines, but with more writers, Miles, Carrie, Eddie, and Kirsty, they are much more able and capable of balancing everything. And the pacing for this volume has been 100% on point. Honestly, now that we have Robin's faction, it's looking more and more and more like a perfect storm, and I'll be damned personally if she's not a hero by the end of this volume, or she doesn't make a major decision that ultimately enables and helps the heroes, even if she'll go on her merry way as something more antagonistic later. Of course, as some of you responded though, she could also turn out dead. That's as much as I have to say about Robin, but now for the rest of this video, it's a mini episode discussion. Not only is Penny making her own identity, Winter is doing the same, as I thought Penny would do in my other video on how the show handles its identity and its characters, the strings on me thing. Since Penny is already coming more to terms with her identity this early in the volume, I'm much more confident that Penny's rebirth and re-existence are more purposeful than most people had thought in the premiere episode. They carry a lot more meaning. In other words, the supply run scene gave Penny's death more meaning. And this whole scene is my favorite of the episode. Winter and Weiss heading down to see Freya. Cinematography, long hallway after long hallway, putting the viewer in the viewing booth behind Weiss, and the score and sound design. Every choice made for this scene was brilliant, and again, it added to everything I said in my video on identity in RWBY. I wasn't surprised to see Team Funky back because I got spoiled for it, and I loved the jazzy score just about as much as I loved seeing them again in general. And because I can't get enough visual evolution, here's a direct comparison of Neon's Trail. Also, is the mission that John would keep escorting them? Or are there multiple escort missions on this and John keeps accepting it because they keep asking? Or maybe he keeps accepting it because he's also thirsty, but he doesn't want to show it like he's a tsundere or something. When RWBY's over, I want a short about this. I'm not kidding. Also, tag yourself. I'm the one in purple. As for theories or how I expect the next episode will go, I'm not sure. I'm not one for theories, to be honest. Crack is whack. But I'll say that at least we already know there's going to be a political rally, and I'm expecting the stinger at the end to be Cinder and Neo. That's it for me, though. What do you think? How will Robin Hill turn out at the volume's end? Will she win the election? Who else will die this volume? Will Winter be the Winter Maiden? What is your major personal takeaway from this chapter that maybe I have or have not talked about? Let me know down below. I'm Raijin Rising. Have a good one.